Hey, here's some fun jargon. I'm going to help you find your voice. What does that even mean?
The School of Podcasting with Dave Jackson.
Hey, I'm Dave Jackson from the schoolofpodcasting.com, where I help you plan, launch, and grow your podcast. Now, I did an episode of this on my audio version of this show. If you go to, this link, that will take you over there. But we hear this all the time. Oh, you need to find your voice when you first start off. What does that mean? Well, the first thing you have to figure out is, who are you and who are you not? Because actually, your voice is here. It's just got a lot of caca on top of it, and you can't see it, a lot of baggage. And so figure out who you are, why you're doing this, and sometimes that's not enough. There's too much garbage on top. So you start figuring out what I'm not going to talk about this, I'm not going to talk about that, I'm not going to talk about this, and then it gets a little clear, but a lot of times it's still a little muddy. All right, so the other thing you're going to have to acknowledge here to get to that voice is you got to practice. Let's face it, anytime we did anything for the first time, whether it was walk, we probably followed walking by falling, and riding a bicycle, kissing someone, probably better at that now than we were the first time we did that. And a lot of times what we don't like is when we get behind a bike, there's some science why we don't like our voice. That's absolutely normal. And some people even say my voice sounds weird. Weird is kind of negative. Unique is better. Think about Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, Stevie Nicks, Rod Stewart. These are people that have way different voices. They're very unique. The minute you hear Bob Dylan or Stevie Nicks, you go, oh, that's Stevie Nicks. Yeah, it's identifiable. It's going to help you stand out. So your voice isn't weird. It's unique. But if you're super tense and you're trying to talk on the microphone because you're worried about the audience, don't worry about the audience because they're not here yet. But you're going to have to get comfortable behind the mic. How do you do that? The same way you got comfortable with everything else you do in life, you do more of it. The other thing you have to acknowledge is you're going to be uncomfortable. You are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So it's going to be uncomfortable, and that's just the way it is. It's uncomfortable until it's not. And this next one is so much easier to say than do, but it's something you have to do, and that is realize not everybody's going to like your stuff, and that's okay. Think about that. Not everybody's going to like your stuff, and that's okay. What if you did a show about widows? It's a show for widows. Well, there's a big difference between a widow at the age of 38 who lost her husband in a car accident versus the 94-year-old widow who lost her husband to, natural causes. Two different. So when you do the whole hey, it's time to get back in the dating game, I don't think the 94-year-old's going to be tuning into that one. I could be wrong. The next thing is follow your gut. One of the things that makes you, again, unique, not weird, is you. So if you feel like you should do something, then do it. Follow your gut. It always helps, right? Everything always starts with, why am I doing this and who is it for? So the more you know about the who and the why, the better you will feel. But if you're like, I feel like I should do this, follow your gut, because it makes your presentation, it makes your motives, it makes your actions, it's all going to feel much more natural because it's you being you. The other thing you want to do is double check the negative facts in your head. Look, we all have some sort of, head trash in our head, thanks to parents and friends and bullies and whoever has said negative things to you, and we love to hold on to those for some reason. Double check those. For example, again, if we hate our voice, have you ever been on the phone talking to somebody and you're like, hey, what's up? It's great to talk to you. And then all of a sudden they just hang up. Why? Because they hate your voice. No, that never happens. Why? Because your voice isn't that bad. It's just different. So double check the negative talk in your head and get it out of there. Because that negative talk, again, here's your voice, and that negative talk is stopping your voice from coming out. And if you have something to say and you're not saying it and you want to share it with the world and you don't, that is something to grieve over. In the end, what you need to do is just be yourself. Get all the negative talk out of the way. Get all the things that you're not going to talk about out of the way. Figure out what you want to talk about. Figure out who you're talking to, and then practice and just be yourself and realize that not everybody's going to like it, and that's okay. Because the people that do are going to love it and go, oh man, I feel like you made that for me. But it all starts with, who is this for? Why am I doing this? Some practice to get comfortable behind the mic, be yourself, and then go. Because don't let your voice be muzzled. You've got something to say, and you never know. I just heard where Taylor Swift's, her current, whatever it is, Eros tour is on scale to make $1 billion. She started somewhere in a bedroom. Why not you? And if you go, oh, because of the okay, double check that negative talk in your head, because it's stopping your voice from being heard. And that's something to grieve about. If you need help with this, you know where to find me, schoolofpodcasting.com.